How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I'm your host, Cosmic Ray. It's going, Cosmic Surfers. Hope you're having a tremendous week, filled with trials and tribulations, ups and downs, flowing through, life's journey, if you will. Just wanted to say that, first of all, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I would like to share a story time with Cosmic Ray. 3 short stories. I know usually I go into like the paranormal type story, but these are just what I call more of like a kind of like the cosmic ray experience, if you will, into a story time. And I know usually I always talk about like something more paranormal-ish, but however, these stories I want to talk about are a little bit more along the lines of something that's happened to me, somewhat recent. One of the stories is going to be somewhat in the past, but it will kind of know where it's kind of headed, if you will. And a little bit about synchronistic and about turning thoughts into things. And you know what? Just like classic Storytime with Cosmic Ray, I'm going to go ahead and just go into it. I've actually tried doing this video a couple times, so we'll see how this works. My heater, which is turned off, has been turning on a couple times, so we'll see how this works. So one day, back in, I believe, roughly September, something happened to me where I turned thoughts into things. Now, of course, we all love to have those moments where, like, you know how it never turns out the way you want it. It seems like that, right? I'm not saying you can't. Don't want to throw that out there in the mix, but it's just one of those, like, usually you have like turn my thought of I could fly, or I have $1 billion show up my door. What's that on my door? $1 million? That was me. No, but of course, it doesn't really turn out like how that is. So I was working at my 3D job, and I was getting used to working like a 6 day straight kind of thing, where I kind of just caught up in the moment. It's just so tired, and just it was one of those moments where I really didn't want to go. Like I really didn't want to go. I'd get up early in the morning. It was like 6:30 maybe. I know I sound like terribly early, but anyways, I was up like 6:30 in the morning, and trying to get ready. I'm like, oh man, I want to go and open up this place, and so I gotta do all that. I have responsibilities, so I'm like, man, I'm so tired. I don't want to do that, and I and it was weird. It was almost like I really truly did not want to go. Like I was like, the universe, I really don't want to go. Like, give me a sign. Like I don't want to go to work. I'm having, just whatever it is, just random things in my thoughts in my head. I'm like physically beat. I'm tired, mentally drained. I don't want to go. Like I really don't want to go. And as I'm, locking the door, going around, to the back, and going to my car, try to start my car, would not start. Tried again, would not start. I know a little bit about cars. I don't want to seem like a car guru or anything like that, but like I know a little bit, at least the more a little bit more than the basics. So trying to check different things. That was maybe like my alternator. That was the battery. Obviously, I'm like, okay, it's not really any of this. Like, what's going on? And I've tried doing other things, beforehand, in the past with my batteries, and I knew it wasn't like my battery because it was like what I felt was somewhat new-ish. And I think I was getting confused with like another car that I had here that replaced the battery. But anyways, so I'm thinking, no, no, it wasn't the battery. It wasn't the battery. And I'm like sitting here like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? Why me? Why me? Why me? Like kind of getting pissed and kind of angry. And I started thinking like, wait a minute, I think I wanted this. Like I didn't want this, obviously, because now I got car problems, like, oh man, what is it? Now I got more issues. Great. I go to work for like the physical money, right? And then I'm supposed to be, trying to use that now. Great. Now I have to really go to work for whatever else I got to do in my car. And I'm just thinking, it took me a while to moment, I was getting in the heat of the moment, getting mad and upset. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, I asked this. I put, sorry, I put these thoughts, out there. I put whatever it was, and I asked the universe. Really, I mean, technically, I did this, and I'm not saying obviously kudos. It was one of those like, oh, blank me, like, and literally, I do remember that after that, I was like, $1 million, show up. I hate it when I have $1 million. Like, oh, come on. So it was just one of those moments where, ask and you shall receive. It was just random, and I'm not usually the type of person that likes to say that kind of thing. So it was just moments of like, poof, started like realizing, huh, maybe that's what everyone means. What if, one of those things, you kind of put out that cause out there, you see the effect, regardless of how the outcome was, without knowing what the outcome was. Technically, I got a day, so I obviously had to call, our store, director, and kind of tell him what was going on. And anyways, obviously got it fixed. The issue got it fixed. I had to wait for my brother to come, and I realized it was just something dumb, and I was just so mad at myself in general. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, man, I can't believe it. Okay, so that's one. Now, obviously, this story, there's something that's going to come along to it towards the very, very end of when I'm done with everything. You'll kind of see where everything kind of comes together, or at least the first two stories. Second story. Okay, so one day, um, with this second story that's happened, there's been a lot of things, like synchronistic things that that happened in my life. And when it came to this moment of man, I don't even know where I want to go with this, but not to give you too much drama what's happening, but let's just say I'm ready to move on. Like, I felt like when I first started this job, I felt I was actually guided to be at this job for a specific reason. Trust me, not everyone wants to be at this type of job, but I felt like I was guided, like I had to be here. I felt like, everything else I applied for, not to be like, oh, look at me, I had all these cool jobs. Of course I'm going to get a great job. It wasn't one of those things. It was just one of those, like, normally if you really knew where I worked, you'd be like, okay, yeah, not like people would quote unquote would really, you know, like quote unquote want to, I guess. I guess no, that's just the easiest way I can explain that, right? Not saying like people don't deserve it or people who work there are wrong or anything, nothing like that. Okay, it's just, anyways, I'm just kind of following the story here. So yeah, I had this moment where I knew my time was coming. Just whatever that means to you, like how you can feel it inside. Something is deep, something and I feel like the universe is trying to tell me, trying to give me hints, these clues. And I had this one day where I worked so hard physically, just back and forth. There were short people, and I'm sorry, not not there were short people. We were short of people. Sorry. Love to all my Asians out there. Anyways, so and just in case if you're new to my channel, yes, I'm part Asian. Okay, sorry. So yes, I can make that joke. So it was one of those things where we were short of people, and I was running around doing a lot of things, wearing a lot of hats. Even my director was like saying, "Hey, let's give big ups to Ray." He was doing all this stuff, and I was physically hurt, beat, tired, emotionally just messed up from just trying to deal with the people that are irate. I have that type of position where I'm like have to talk to those type of people, and when every time they need me, they call me and then I have to go and take care of it. So just to give you an idea. So, anyways, um, now I was really tired. So the next day, which was a Friday, it happened to be exactly last Friday. And it was also a moment where I was going to pick up my kids. And it's one of those times where my ankle's hurting really bad. And I'm usually the type of person that would still do my job regardless and then just maybe go home from there. And I told myself I'd be willing to do a half day. But as I was driving to work, I was like, universe, like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be at work today. Like, I really feel like I'm not one of those moments where subconsciously I didn't want to go to work. Like, I just felt something was telling me, like, don't go to work. You need to quit this effing job. Just quit. You're not supposed to be here. You got to do something else now. Whether it's, still just, stop and just do only videos, on YouTube and to help inspire others and myself. But not just that, but just to just do something else. Like, I felt like guided to now my time is done. I need to do something else. So I was like, universe, like I need something. I need a sign. Like I feel like this intuition, something, my guides, everything is like trying to point out to me, but like like I'm on my ego self, like just couldn't figure it out. I'm just like just got this, push and pull thing. I'm like, being torn. I'm like, what is it? What do I need to do? Like what's going on? I'm like, please give me a sign and don't just give me one of those fucking little small ass signs. I need something. I need something concrete that tells me I should not be at work or not keep from driving. Literally, then sorry, I'm like hearing things. I gotta redo the video. Sorry, when I was looking down earlier, I felt something was touching me. Okay, anyways, I was like, no, I need something concrete. I need something just to and just tell me. Within like a minute, not even 2 minutes, right? Just driving. Now, I know I'm in the shadow here, so let me see if I can do this. So I was driving this way. I see a a person right here, and I wasn't flooring it or anything. I wasn't really excited, to saying to go to work. So I was driving normal speed limit, actual speed limit. I wasn't in a rush. I didn't like hit a yellow light and or anything like that. It was totally green on my side, and I was going straight while this person was at a stop, and they were coming to the stop like this. And as I was going, and in my head, I'm like, "Don't go, don't go, don't go." And then as I was driving, and then of course they turned or like pulled out right in front of me. Now, usually when that happens, I'm not saying everyone has to do this, but it's usually one of two things happen, at least in my perspective or my scenarios. One, where the driver immediately just goes fast, like they realize what they did, and there's like, oh, and they just floor it, right? Which is kind of cool. And it sucks that they cut you off, but yet, at least they like gunned it, so they went faster. Or they're completely oblivious and they still go slow, or they just don't care and they just go slow. Now, this is one of those moments where I almost died because I wasn't like, it wasn't those moments where they pulled out in front of me and I was like, oh, you effing something, something, learn how to drive. It wasn't like that. It was literally right as I approached, like, I really couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, you can't, like, no blanking way this happened. Like, no way. So as they did that, they turned like this and then they went like less than 20 feet to pull right. Like, you, like, no, like, who does this? Now, for like a brief moment, normally in this time, like the old, I say back in the day, Ray would get really upset, and I'm like, "You effing this, shake my hands," kind of thing. And but I just started laughing. This is like a little different for me. I just started laughing, and I don't have to get like a little crazy Joker laugh. I was like, and I just started just laughing. I'm like, oh gosh, because I did this in a sense. This was my sign. I didn't realize this. And it was funny because, right, I could see when the person turned in, I could see in them look in the mirror and they like throw their hands up, like, oh my God, what's your problem? And it was weird because I was just driving normal. Like I wasn't even speeding, gunning it, or anything like that. And in my head, right when like it happened, I didn't think it was gonna happen, right? Like I knew it came in my mind, but at the same time, it was one of those like I didn't believe myself, or I didn't believe what the information that was coming to me. Like, oh, this person's gonna go, they're gonna go, they're gonna go, they're gonna go, and then right like when I got there, they went. I was like, like I almost died. Well, not almost died, but I almost did get into like a car wreck. That was for sure. Um, and obviously I didn't. I drove past, and after I was going, I pulled over to the side, and I was like, I'm not supposed to go to work today. I am not supposed to go to work today. This is no way, right? No way. So I called, my work, and it was like, so I texted someone I knew that was already going to be there in the morning. I'm like, hey, I ain't going to do this, blah, 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 yada, 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 right? So that happened. Well, remember I was telling you about how I felt like I was guided not to be at this job. Now I'm gonna end up working there until they kick me out in a sense because I just figured I'm just gonna just keep doing my due diligence and I'm not gonna be. Um, I feel like I was guided to go somewhere else. However, I want to like in a sense keep applying to other places just in case if it is like a particular 3D job I'm supposed to be working. So I figured I'd at least do my, that part. And, I still have family, kids, got to take care of. So I know there's like this leap of faith of just like, oh, maybe I should just quit and just forget everything. Don't do unemployment, don't do any of that stuff. But there's still a part of me that's like, you know what? Just keep doing my job, and then if something goes awry or whatever, let's do that. Now, fast forward a little bit, I've had some, issues with work lately with regarding, just dealing with, some people that I realized during the holidays, which is like the worst in retail history, and you get those moments where you start to, if you ever want to know the human condition, work in some type of retail job, you'll start knowing fast how people will really treat each other, or just watching other people, not necessarily what they treat the employees, but how they treat each other. Amazing. So I think that was one of the reasons why, and also to inspire the people that were there. But anyways, I digress on that. But there was this moment where I was like, okay, keeping that in mind of like, universe, give me a sign, right? Now, my manager at the time was like, "Why don't you come in still, like later on in the day, about your ankle, hurting and all this stuff, why don't you come in, talk to HR." Now, when I come in on Monday, and not that day, they asked me, but on Monday, they had me go into the room and talking with HR, and it had nothing to do with my ankle. It was so weird. They started talking about other things. I was like, I felt like I was just sidelined. Like, wow, there's all this crazy stuff. But when I left the room, I was like, thank you, universe. Like, it was an odd thing. Normally, in that moment, you kind of just get mad at everyone else or maybe get mad at yourself. But I was like, thank you, universe. I think this is part of my sign that lets me know to get out. No, I didn't like just get up and quit, anything like that. I just feel I'm just gonna keep doing my job. I say that to you guys. I don't know why just to even let out a little bit of those truths out, but I just wanted to let you guys know, in a sense, that sometimes like that may happen to you, where when you ask and that you shall receive, or those moments where you kind of put these thoughts out there and they kind of manifest themselves in ways that you may not really realized how it was going to turn out, and that's sometimes how that works. That's why I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. The synchronistic parts for me is like I was getting these like signs and whatnot, like these 1-1s, 8-8s, like all these other things of like saying, hey, you need to be yourself. Don't follow, the norm. Don't follow these people what they're saying. And I feel like they've been kind of like bullying me to kind of like leave and stuff. And I don't know. Anyways, that's another story. And then so my last story. Try to make this is more a little faster. Someone from my work needed a ride home late at night. This is around probably like almost 12 o'clock ish, and to take them home. They likely live in the area where this job site is at. So I'm like, okay, no big deal, but still late at night. Now, I never given this person a ride home, but I've always offered them. And this person, didn't have a car or anything like that. Has their parent drive them home. And this is one of those like kind of gentle giant type people. And this person is a really nice person. And I know they're special. I swear there's times where they try to talk to me and I feel like there's some type of connection going on, but I don't know what it is specifically. And sometimes these people are getting misjudged because some people say they may have like a disorder and whatnot. But for me, all I see is a beautiful soul that people don't give attention to. So I was like, hey, I always try to talk to these this type of person, and just to just say hi, because I'm sure other people don't try to find these connections, and it's sad, but I taking this person home, right? And we're like talking about random stuff from job, and other things that we don't normally get to talk about. And as I just trying to fast forward, as I take this person home, pull it to the side, and he's like looking at me, and it's funny because like when you're like on those like dates or something, you kind of look at someone and they look at you, and you're like, okay, goodbye, goodbye. Sometimes like you kiss them, sometimes you don't, but like obviously I wasn't going to on this case, but it was just most like we had those one of those weird like moments, right? And and you open up the car door, so my lights were on. That's important. So my lights were on, and from the interior, and he was saying goodbye, and he has a I don't want to say a problem. It's not a problem, but sometimes his mind is fast. So when he tries to talk, he may not be able to say everything he wants at once. He knows in his head that he says it, but when it comes out of his mouth, he has to maybe repeat it a couple times. It may look like a stutter to some people, but you just have to be patient. And he was saying, goodbye, Ray. Thank you, but it takes him a little time to say it. So, and then and it was like a weird, like slight glitch, but I know it wasn't a glitch. Like, and then he said it again, but he said it in a clear voice, no problems, no nothing. He goes, Ray, I just want to say thank you so much. Really, thank you. And after he said that, the lights in my car went womp 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 womp, and then that was it. I was like, the fuck? Like, did you? I don't want to say did you just see that, because obviously he doesn't know what I know or what I do, on the side or anything like that. Doesn't know about any like the esoteric things or videos or me about being spiritual besides my spiritual gear that I wear once in a while. So he didn't think of it as anything. But then I knew that there was something for me in that, and it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, hey man, you take care. Like, if there's any other times I can take you home, just let me know, man. And I had a big smile on my face, like, all right, take care. And he's like, all right, take care, and he left. I felt like great energies, great vibes. I don't know if that was the inner outer dimensional vibration outline people. I don't know what it was, but the lights were like boom, 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 and that never. I won't say it never happened, but it never happens like that type of moment. And so that was this really like what it was. All these experiences did have to do with my current job, which I feel like I'm guided to like just do something else right now with my life. And I'm sure many of you are. Maybe you are still in this 3D reality of trying to do the normal job, and that's okay too. You got to do what you can, especially when you have family and you have to take care of others and whatnot. And of course, obviously, take care of yourself. It was just one of those things where, of course, all these three had to do with what I've been feeling, and also too something that's been going on with me personally. And I just felt like I really needed to talk about this specific thing, and just kind of get it out there about others too who are going through not just jobs and other things, but when you go through a spiritual awakening, sometimes you feel like certain jobs aren't really cut out for you, and not necessarily saying you can't do this or you don't deserve this job or you won't be able to hack it. It is just one of those things where you start to realize other things, like ugly side of life, of other things that you're just, I'm just going to say it, like I'm disgusted with. Like I'm really disgusted with, and I realize that I'm there for a reason, maybe to help with some of that disgustingness and turn into positive. Trust me, I've done that. I've tried to go in with great intentions, different upbeat attitude, very positive. I know I was there to help inspire others and to show them, certain things of life and different perspectives of things and how to handle situations, and be a, team player and show other people what that's like, because there's usually a lot of younger people that are around, and or people who haven't had like a job for a while and stuff, so just kind of used to that thing. So it's just one of those things where I feel like I wanted to share with the collective, just to know that sometimes when you get guided, in life to maybe not do a certain thing anymore, you'll start to know things that come out. Now, obviously, if you know personally, if you are personally messing things up or you're a personal like F up on things, that's obviously kind of thing. But you have to realize certain things may happen where you're like, what the hell, why is this happening to me? That may be your guides, may other things, may channeling into other people to kind of let you know, to kind of give this like extra push to you. If you'll know the difference when it's you or when it's not you, as in like if it's time for you to leave, versus like say you're being the F up and then you just need to get fired or you just need to not be at that job. But it's just one of those moments where I just wanted to relate that to you guys, just in case if you guys, any of you are going through it, Cosmic Surfers. For me, that's just something that I've, been going through. So I just want to say, big ups to some of the Cosmic Surfers, for Anthony Soto, also to regarding the Saunders or Sanders. Just want to say, thank you very much, for tuning in and subscribing as being Cosmic Surfers, and also the top five. And there's even another gentleman who I didn't really, in a sense, he did a slight comment, and it was funny because when I was channeling doing something, it was hard for me to. It was like my voice and my head racing thoughts at the same time channeling. I couldn't say electronic device and or electronical, or I was like, exactly. I just said again electronical. I was saying electrical and then electronics, and then I put those together, and like I said that instead of saying like maybe like I'm using my phone or tablet, and then you just put a picture of a phone or tablet. In my mind, I'm like, dude, that was awesome. I just smiled when I saw that comment. Like, yep, that's exactly what I meant. So, anyways, Cosmic Surfers, thank you very much for tuning in. Much love and respect. You guys are truly amazing. You guys are the ones that are helping this world be in a beautiful place. And I swear, if we all just put our intentions together, we can do a lot of good. And more on that later. But till then, Cosmic Surfers, wish you a great night and safe journeys always.